She's known as America's Joy Magnet, Sherry Elise.
Today is the perfect day to chat with her. It's been declared the National Day of Joy. Sherry's with us now by Zoom with some tips to celebrate this special day. Sherry, thanks for joining us.
Of course, I couldn't think of a better day to be here than on the National Day of Joy.
You know, they have a national day for everything. So what makes today so special?
Really, it is about bringing the awareness to people that joy is something that can be cultivated and our joy muscle can be built. And so it's not just waiting for something joyful to happen to feel it, but it's actually about making intentional choices to build our joy.
And how do you do that? How do you make those intentional choices? How do you know what's going to do that for you?
So that's why I'm here. We've got some mindset strategies today for you and actual practical tips. And so, of course, mindset is everything. If you don't believe that you can increase your joy, then it's going to be challenging to do that. And one of the best ways that we can do that is by, instead of focusing on external achievements, we want to focus on inner growth. So not be so fixated on outcomes and really set intentions for personal growth, for milestones in your life, or really the ways that you grow and the ways that you show up in the world. Joy is ignited and flourishes in the continual self-evolution of ourselves.
I think that might be hard for some people who are, very goal-oriented, goal-driven. If they can't see how it's measured, that might be something hard for them. How would you recommend kind of overcoming that internal battle?
Well, I want to give permission. That is okay to have goals. I have goals. I'm motivated all the time, but it's when we attach our value to it and our worth and our happiness, our joy to those goals. So when we can go inward and see what we learn along the way and who we are and who we become, that ends up being a lot better of a notch for joy, if you will.
One of the tips you give is to embrace your authenticity. What do you mean by that?
Well, really, it's about knowing who you are in the world and recognizing your value and then aligning the things that you love to do that interest you instead of just going with what society thinks. Because, and this has been my greatest lesson in life, is when I have fully embraced who I am and what I offer in the world, my joy has been truly ignited.
That's incredible. So I'm looking at your tips here also. It says, create a joyful ritual, which I love, and I'm very intrigued by that.
Yeah, so we always hear, do something every day that brings you joy. And it really is that simple. So creating a ritual, it could be a daily, a weekly thing. It could be just really taking the time with your cup of coffee or your tea and allowing yourself to take in the peaceful environment. It could be taking on a hobby that brings you joy, really anything that is of interest to you. Because when you carve out this time for intentional joy, you increase your overall well-being. For me, it's every day a walk in nature.
And does that have to do with the environment that you celebrate in?
Well, the nature for sure. We already know from science just the awe that it brings and, the oxytocin and all that. But really your environment, whatever it is that you're doing, your environment is about creating a space that feels good. So if you're in your office all day, decorate it with plants, with my flowers, my sunflowers. How could this not bring me joy? Put pictures around, beautiful colors. What you surround yourself is so important to the ways that it affects us and our joy.
Connecting with other people in whatever environment you're in, I think, is so important. I mean, I'm so lucky to work with Dan, who's, easily one of the most, I'm serious, one of the most cheerful people I've ever met. So he brightens up the whole, newsroom in here. But, how can you be that source of joy for other people?
Well, exactly what Dan's doing is really just stay in that positive mindset. And it's important for us to make the time and to carve out again the time to be with people. Recently I came on here talking about the Surgeon General's report about loneliness and how important social connection is. So surround yourself with good community. I'm with the Art and Science of Joy, and we have created a community of people all looking for joy. Set time for brunches with your friends, hikes with your friends, game nights. It really is about those meaningful connections that increase our joy.
Sherry, while we have you, I want to tell you about something that Abby and I do. We do this, I don't know, I would say maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and sometimes it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But then when we get into the flow and we begin to discuss it, it becomes enjoyable. We ask each other we have a happy list on our phones for each other, and we say, give me one thing today that makes you happy. It doesn't have to have happened today, but it's got to be one thing in life that you find that joy. And again, sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes it's difficult. On a Tuesday, it's not so much fun trying to come up with it. But then you think of it and you celebrate it, and you actually can feel that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just kind of spreads through, both of us, and it spreads out into the rest of the crew here that works here, and it's a good way to kind of boost everybody's spirits.
And sometimes they laugh at them because sometimes they're rather funny.
Yeah.
Things that bring us happiness.
It's so important to do exactly what you're doing, which is make a conscious and concerted effort, and I say effort in the most playful way, of finding your joy, because it really is right there. And on those tough days that you're talking about, for me, I just take deep breaths and I go, I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm taking this breath. I get to hug someone. I get to choose to love this moment. And for me, that always ignites my joy.
And that is something we should all be grateful for and all be celebrating each and every day. Sherry Elise, where can people go to learn more?
Of course, they can go to my website, sherryelise.com, and I'd love for them to go visit us at the Art and Science of Joy, where they can join the Year of Joy community for free.
Wonderful.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was great chatting with you, and I don't know about you, I feel happier after all that.
I do. You've got that joy-spreading thing, too, so you've got that in you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sherry. Enjoy your day.